They are. I'm getting older. I am. My doctor told me that I had to start like exercising, running and stuff. Do we have any runners in the audience? No, no runners, right? Yeah, we're on high here on a Friday night. That should have been fucking, so yeah, fire. But yeah, so a buddy of mine's a big runner. Like he told us, he was like, yeah, you should start running, man. You can get something called a runner's high. Like, you heard of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like apparently like if you run enough, you can get high. And I was like, oh, cool, exercise, high. Like, that sounds like something all right. I tried it. I got out of breath and a pulled hamstring. And then I ran into it and I was like, hey man, like I didn't get fucking high at all. And then, like, yeah man, you gotta hit a zone. Like you gotta hit a zone of running. If you just run consistently for 3 to 4 months, you'll get high. Like, that's the worst way to get high. Like, say what you want about heroin, but one shot, like blown by angels. There's a reason why it works. Could you imagine if heroin was like that? Like, you're like, hey, inject this in your vein, and you're like, oh, this must be an amazing high. And you're like, well, not yet. 3 to 4 months. But I am at that age, like I'm at the age where I still have friends in their 20s, and I also have friends that are like 40s getting divorced. And like what I've learned is like young crazy is a different kind of crazy. Like it's just completely different. So like we have a friend of ours who's like a 35-year-old divorced mother of 2. And when she says she's gonna go out and get crazy, it means she's gonna go get drunk and like maybe fuck a wannabe DJ. And then when I get young crazy, like we have 25-year-old friends, and when she says she's gonna go out and get crazy, like she might do Molly and like accidentally like smuggle 3 kilos of cocaine to Thailand. Like that's a different kind of crazy. Like when you're in your 40s, you still care about the consequences of it. But I don't have to worry about that. I've been married. I've actually, like Aiden did say, I've been married for 18 years, and she is amazing. She's a wonderful woman, very supportive. So supportive that it comes, like sometimes becomes uncomfortable. Like we were laying on the couch the other day, and she leaned over and she said, I think I'd forgive you if you ever cheated on me. Yeah, and I don't know what to do with that information. Like I wasn't sure what the right reaction is. Obviously you're dating, right? Like let's say if she leans over and says that, what's your reaction? What do you say?
I don't know. I'm stunned. I don't know.
You stunned? That might be the right reaction. Joy is the wrong reaction. So you know, you cannot high five her like she gave you a high.
What am I?
You also can't show relief. You can't be like, actually, thank God.
I'm meaning to tell you.
That doesn't work either.
No.
But I will never cheat on her. We got 3 kids, which is too many kids. It's 1 too many kids. Like 2 kids is the right amount of kids, right? 2 in, 2 out. That kind of works out pretty well. 3 kids is like an extra kid. Which you should not put in their birthday card. It's very uncomfortable. My wife has a way better way of describing that. She calls him a blessing. I think he's a sociopath. And I'll explain. So, we have 3 kids, right? Oldest one's 11, youngest one's 3 at the time. And I'm in the house, all 3 kids, it's completely quiet. And for those of you who don't have kids, if you have 3 kids and it's completely silent, there's a very good chance 2 of them is burying one of them's body in the bathroom. It's likely to happen. So I get up and I'm like, all right, let's try to figure this out. I start walking by, and as I walk by my office, I see black permanent marker written all over the floor, all over the walls. And then in the middle on my couch is black permanent marker and my oldest son's name written on the couch. So I'm fucking lit. I call them all down, I'm screaming. My oldest son is in tears. He has no idea what the fuck's happening. Because out of the corner of my eye, I see my youngest 3-year-old with a grin on his face and a black mark on his hand.
No.
And it dawns on me. I'm like, this psychopath not only had the nerve to destroy my house, but he had the forethought to fucking write his older brother's name and frame him to throw off the investigation. Like I think we're like a week away from him having me invest in crypto. I was like, we actually have a real conversation at the house. Like he may be like a billionaire or in prison, or both, and become the president of the United States. Either way could work. But we've had we love her. It's really good. We've actually we did think about adopting for a while before we actually moved to Spain. That was one of our conversations that we had because we've been blessed. We're like, we can take another one. And so we're gonna get like a rescue baby. They don't call them that, but that's what it was. And you actually learn a lot. You learn a lot when you go through the adoption process, right? Like, I didn't know this, but they actually approve you for race, religion, and sex. Like, I thought if you were racist, you just got banned from all the babies, but apparently it's like a scale. And I was sitting there with my wife, and I was like, man, what possible scenario could get you, like, banned from adopting the black kid, but, like, approved for adopting the Chinese kid? And, like, the only thing I could think of, I was like, maybe they're sitting around the table and they're like, well, they're a little bit racist, but they are good at math. So, let's approve them for that one. Yeah, we've had a good time. It is a little different in Europe than it is in the U.S. In the U.S., they don't really train you to have a kid. Like, they just kind of give you tips on how not to kill your baby. That's the big thing that they do. So, like, you'll see, like, TV commercials that give you pamphlets. And, like, when we had our first kid, like, one of the big ones was, like, don't shake your baby. It was, like, a big fad. I think it's still a thing, but they really care about it. And they would, like, TV commercials would be like, don't shake the baby pamphlet. This is what happens if you shake your baby. Every medical professional that touched your baby was like, don't shake this baby. And then they send you home with the baby. And like after the end of the first week, you're like, I really want to shake this baby. Not a lot, but enough to shut up the fuck up. Guys, that's my time. Thank you.